Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. By the time I post this, it will be the day before Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone who's watching. I hope you all have a great break. I'm about to be on break tomorrow, and I honestly cannot wait for break to start. I'm like so ready. But today I'm going to be filming the last set of my adoption series videos for 2019. Thank you guys so much for following along with me throughout this series of videos. I really enjoyed making them. And I'm excited to make more next year and just see where this goes. Maybe I'll make some more not for Adoption Awareness Month. But today I'm going to be filming a Q&A video. I reached out on social media and asked you guys to ask me questions, any questions you had related to adoption. So I'm going to answer some of those, and then I'm going to wrap things up, and that's about it for this series. Before I continue, if you have not subscribed to my channel already, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you know every time I post a video. Now let's get to the questions. Okay, so the first question comes from Facebook. My question is, what's the best advice when it comes to finding birth parents in China? So I don't really know the answer to that question. Personally, I would say try to find people that can that work on that. I know there's specific agencies that do that kind of stuff. You can always put out an ad, yeah, you can put out an ad in the Chinese newspaper, with a photo. I haven't really done a lot of research into that, and I don't really know if I ever will, because I'm still not 100% sure if I ever want to find my birth parents. But that is all the advice I have. I'm sorry I can't really answer anything more. What DNA tests should I take? I took 23andMe. Personally, I really enjoyed it. It's kind of fun, seeing where you're from. There's always Ancestry.com, but I don't know how helpful that is for adoptees, considering you can't really trace your ancestry, and I don't know much about anything else except 23andMe. But also there is another thing called MyTaproot. I can't remember if it's a DNA test or if it's just what it is, but I will link it down below, as well as the 23andMe website. But those are some tests I've heard of, and stuff like that. But yeah, 23andMe has been very helpful in figuring out where I'm from. But it's also kind of funny because some of the things aren't very true about me. So, I mean, yeah, that's all I can say about that. Alright, and now the rest of these questions come from Instagram. How aware were you about your birth family / place when you were young? First of all, it's kind of hard to hide the fact that I'm adopted, considering my mom is white, so she can't really lie about it. So I've pretty much known about them since forever, and I was always so curious, so I pretty much knew everything about my birthplace. When I was young, I didn't know much about my birth family, just because China does not give those records out. You can't really find any records about your birth family, so I didn't know much about that, but I did know a lot about where I was from, and I would always tell people and write stories about it when I was little. Okay, how do you think that has helped shape who you are today? Well, if I didn't know where I came from, I feel it would feel like a part of me was missing. If my mom wasn't if she looked the same as me and she didn't tell me I was adopted, I think that would change my entire identity and who I am. So I really think knowing it from the beginning, learning from it, being able to expand my knowledge about it, being able to ask questions, to talk to other adoptees about it, really has shaped who I am and made me realize who I am as an adoptee, who I am as a Chinese American, and how I fit into my society and culture and friend groups and all that, based on the fact that I was born in somewhere else and then I live here. So I think it really knowing that has definitely made me who I am today. And if I didn't know I was adopted, I can't really imagine my life not knowing. Okay, next question. Where did you like come from? IDK how to ask it. Well, I came from the same place you did. I came from my mother. No, I'm kidding. I did come from my mom's tummy, but I was born in Guiping, according to my records. I was born in Guiping, which is like in Guangxi province, and it is very, very southern China, like the southern tip, kind of near Vietnam, which is why my DNA test says I'm like part Vietnamese. So that is where I was born, and I come from China. Yeah, I don't really know. That's a pretty straightforward answer. Okay. Have you ever met / contacted your biological parents? So no, I have not met my biological parents, and no, I haven't tried contacting them. One of my friends, I think, did try contacting hers like a couple years ago. And I've seen like lots of documentaries about like people meeting up with birth parents and stuff, but no, I haven't met them. I haven't contacted them. I don't really know if I ever will. When I was little, we used to write notes and like burn them because it was like a Chinese cultural tradition that like when you burn things for your ancestors, like the incense kind of like goes up to heaven to them, so people would burn like letters or money and to like fulfill all of their ancestors with like all of these things. So I guess in a way I kind of contacted them through that. I was always, you know, like I did that with the theory that they would receive my messages through the letters, through the smoke, and it would like kind of go to China. And sometimes we would like release a balloon with a letter on it in the hopes that it would make it to China. So that's like as much as I've tried to contact them. Okay. Let's see what's next. I think these are one of the last ones. Okay. Have you ever went back to China? If so, how did you feel or what was your experience? So I've been back to China 3 times. I went once to get my sister, once because my mom had a Fulbright grant to teach there for 6 months, and then once to study abroad. I don't remember anything from when I got my sister, and I barely remember anything from when I went back to teach with my mom because I was 6 at the time. I really remember like vague memories like climbing up hills, eating certain foods, like experience in the classroom, and like trying to break open a coconut with a hammer. So the most like vivid memory I have is the most recent one, which is when I went to Shanghai to study abroad in 2018. And it kind of felt weird because here I'm like used to being an outsider, like in a way, because I'm Chinese and I live in America where a lot of people are Caucasian or Hispanic, so it's kind of like a melting pot and like a mixture of races and ethnicities. But then when I was in China, I looked like everyone else, so it was like a totally different experience for me to like ride the subway and be in this crowded, cramped space with people that looked like me, and the only reason like they could tell me apart was because I was speaking English to some of my friends. So that was kind of weird, but like it was a really nice experience and like a cool experience because living with like a host family was a way for me to kind of experience like what it would have been if I had stayed in China longer. Like I was able to see their technologies, such as their washing machine and like how they dry clothes and how they get around and to get to work transportation wise. So I thought it was a really cool experience. I miss China so much. I miss the food. I really want to go back. Yeah, that was been my experience in China. Okay, see, I think this is the second to last question. How old were you when you were adopted? I was 11 months old. I lived in an orphanage for 11 months and then I came here. Yeah, no foster care, just an orphanage. Alright, that was a short question. Okay, last question. Has being in college changed your view on diversity? Ooh, this is a good question. So, it hasn't really changed my view on diversity. The college that I go to really emphasizes diversity and being accepting of everyone. We have pronouns, like if you don't respect other people's pronouns. It's against protocol. Professors are very open and respecting of your pronouns and who you identify with. Whenever you fill out information about you and they ask your gender, they like list everything. We're like very, very open about people expressing who they are, even if it goes against societal norms. So I wouldn't say that coming here has changed my view on diversity. It just is a different experience, because in my high school it's majority minority, so there was a lot of Hispanics, there was a lot of African Americans, and very few Asians, and then a lot of Caucasians. And here it's about the same, but I have a lot more minority friends. I have a lot more African American friends than I did in high school, and so that has been kind of cool to like see their culture and like in their view and like how they embrace their ethnicity and their race and their background. I don't have as many Asian friends as I did in high school, but yeah, I really like being here because there's pretty much an organization for every single religion and almost every single race, and it's really cool to like see the school like embrace diversity and be very open. We even have a center for diversity and inclusion here that like works with faculty and staff and students to make sure that everyone feels welcome and everyone is accepted for who they are. So I really don't think it's changed my view on diversity, but really like enhanced it more with all the student orgs and events. And especially the culture show that happened during International Education Week. It was so amazing. There are performances from every part of the world, and it was just so cool to see it all come together and like to think about how there's so many international students here, and we're all like together in one community, and we all accept each other for who we are. We don't make fun of people for bad English if they're an international student, and I just really love it here, and like the diversity aspect of it. I think it's really cool. So those were all the questions that I received on social media. If you submitted some of those questions, thank you so much for submitting the questions. If you have any more questions or want to talk about anything that I talked about, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I love reading your comments and answering them. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you did not subscribe to my channel already, please hit the subscribe button. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, a wonderful Thanksgiving break, and I will see you all next week. Bye!